I'm the head of growth for Conway Consulting, and so what that means is I'm responsible for client acquisition, and so we work with a lot of agencies, and we've got 15 employees. We just work with a lot of different teams, and then personally myself, I run an organization in Regina called Data for Good, and I'm in a bunch of different service organizations. So I actually have a lot of different emails. And then everybody communicates with me on their chosen platform. So sometimes it's Messenger, sometimes it's Slack, sometimes there's multiple Slack channels, text messaging, Skype is a big one. And so lots of people communicating with me, lots of different emails. I know it sounds like I'm so popular, and yeah, so lots of shooting the breeze with lots of people.
Before you found Shift, how did you used to work and try to manage all of those notifications?
Well, I had done so for email, I had tried forwarding everything into one inbox. That was problematic because sometimes I was using Gmail for 3 email accounts and then Outlook for 1 or 2. And so the two could just never play really that well together. And then I just abandoned some email accounts and said I'm not using them anymore. And then so I started responding to, I can't believe I'm telling you this, but I started just using like one account for a different company. I was like, I don't care, I'm just using this one email account, and I'm going to email all my other businesses through this one email account. And that was a disaster on its own. And so yeah, I tried doing that. Kind of an exercise that I do find useful, but only, having focus times and then checking messages at certain times. But that, again, turning off all notifications on every individual app or program is it's cumbersome and it's time consuming on its own. And when you're already busy as heck, that's problematic. So nothing ever seemed to really work that well. That everything was very laborious.
Once you started using it, how did you realize that this was like a good tool and it was kind of what you were looking for?
Oh, immediately. Like immediately after, there's two things that happened. So immediately after I used the tool, I realized how much better my life was going to get. And so I don't buy SaaS products annually. But I immediately bought Shift on an annual contract. And so just organizing all the tools all in one place was really useful and really helpful, and reduced stress and anxiety significantly. But then the second thing that really was interesting was all the minor customizations that could happen. So I could mute all my notifications with one button, which I don't know if I had ever really explored that much before I bought the full service. And then there's quick different ways you could set up communication, how you want to be communicated to in the preferences. The Gmail integration is really awesome. I love this. This works better than just using Gmail on its own because you can flip from calendar to mail so easy, and then Drive is right there. And so like you don't have to flip applications or tabs or anything. It's super useful and effective. So I've got all my emails set up here, and this is a lifesaver on its own. And it really actually makes it easy. So if, this is my primary, the email I use, my business account, work account that I use most. And it's actually, if, I get an email from somebody asking me something here, to go and check my primary calendar, it's just like, it's really easy, fast, and efficient. And so I like that a lot. And for a guy like me who also has a lot of tabs open on his browser, this is significantly more efficient than having 18 tabs open. So I've got all my email up here, and then I've got all my messaging apps. So I've got Google Chat, Skype, 2 Slack accounts, WhatsApp, Messenger, Twitter, Basecamp, and LinkedIn. So I use all these tools almost every day. And So they're really helpful. So it's really helpful to have them all right here. And then the silencing is also great. And so I'll be in meetings and I'll start getting notifications, and then I'll just hit like silence for 60 minutes, hit mute, and away we go. And like, it's super easy and it shuts down everything. So I really appreciate that, because often, like a lot of people, I'll just get like 6 or 7 notifications. Like, here we go now. I've got actually native Skype open. Got 6 or, people seem to just email me and message me and everything all at once, right? And it's always when I'm in a meeting with somebody. So it's really nice and convenient to just click on mute and then mute them all quite quickly. So
welcome to.
I've never done the tour of Shift, I guess. And I also do actually, I do send, because I do recommend Shift to a lot of people. I do use this referral code. Oh, look, somebody signed up. Way to go.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it is nice to actually have that there.
How is this really any different from just using my browser and using web tabs in a browser? And, gosh, like, is this really worth it? And what would you say to those folks if you could talk to them?
Well, there's a couple of problematic situations that come out with using a browser with multiple tabs open. And I'm a recovering tabaholic, I would say. Now I'm very persistent on using 1 or 2 tabs, and I'm really taking a minimalist approach to my web browser. And I guess that's one thing that I really like about Shift, is that it's a tool that promotes minimalism when our communication needs are very complex. So there's a few problems with having multiple tabs open. One is that takes up a lot of memory on your computer, or it can take a lot. And so you always run the risk of a browser crashing. Second thing is you have to actively go in and open all the tabs every time you start your computer, or if you have to shut down all your tabs. So you have to, like, it's a very manual process. It's very laborious. It's very inefficient. And I guess the last thing is that the browser is not designed for that. That's not what its purpose is. Its purpose isn't to help you navigate efficiently through all your tabs. The purpose is to help you browse the web better. And so you're kind of hacking the browser and using it for use that it wasn't necessarily intended for. So every time I open up a Shift, all the tools that I use regularly are all open. I don't have to open each tab up and log in and all those pieces. So it's using your tab to manage your communications is very clunky.